Yo, what up guys, Big 5D here, and I'm the noob to pro. The OLF fusion has finally ended, so it's time for us to push our focus back to this account, a series that we started with the purpose of getting to Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss totally free to play. So we didn't want to build any of those unkillable teams, Manita, Dimitar and all those Helicat teams. We wanted to use a old school killable team that could just beat the clan boss at Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss difficulty. So that's the goal that we started this account for, and I can tell you, hopefully today it seems like our goal has been achieved. So we'll find out maybe at the end of this video. I'll do a battle run to tell you what I'm talking about. While this OLF fusion has been going on, the Noob to Pro has been farming gear, leveling up champions, getting that Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss team ready, because we can already beat the Nightmare with 2 keys, right? With a killable team as usual. So if I head over to, well, I've not spent any keys today, but I'll just head over to the champion index and show you the champions that possibly going to be making this happen. If you're new to the clan boss, you're trying to build a killable team, this might benefit you, because although we started with the purpose of not using a unkillable team, we have also not pulled any champions like Manita, Dimitar's, Helicat that will make unkillable teams possible for us. Not even a Rush card, the Tower, and all those other old school ones. It has not been possible for this account. So you might find yourself in a place in Racial Alliance where you have no choice but to build a old school team like this until that special day when an unkillable champions like all the ones I've mentioned before falls on your lap, and then you just go in there and build it and just enjoy block damage, comps and all that. So until that happens, you're left with no choice but to use your normal champions for the clan boss. The only difficult thing about using this type of champions for the clan boss is gear. So that's why I said I did spend a lot of time in Dragon 25. We're not talking about Dragon 20 gear now. So that's the first thing I'm going to be telling you, because these champions rely on lifesteal to survive all the big hits. When they hit, they heal back with War Master or Giant Slayer procs, right? They have to keep healing, or you rely on Leech. But at this type of early game, a lot of champions will be in lifesteal and gear. So, or even you're trying to reach to Nightmare, lifesteal is the way to go. So that's a lot of dragon farming, months and months of dragon farming. You can see how many days we've been playing, and dragon is the content we focused on the most. So don't forget to also get up to Spider 20 so you can get some banners for your champions, so you can build them with better stats rather than putting accuracy chests. So you need that accuracy banner. That's what I'm trying to say to make this possible. And a lot of defense. I'll be showing you all the champion stats. Remember, this is a first draft. I've not fought this battle or anything. This is the first draft. These first champions that are able to do Ultra Nightmare in this Noob to Pro series. This is the first draft. So it will improve. The team will improve. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't look at this team and say, oh, they can't do Ultra Nightmare. They can. All I needed to do is head over to Dedu Jedi website. We already knew the main champion we needed was a champion who was going to be doing a block debuff buff for us, like this right there, block debuff buff and a shield on a 4-turn cooldown, right? This champion has it on the 4-turn cooldown when booked. So Scatix was the one we had on our account, but the ideal champion you want for this role is Sepulchre Sentinel. If I had Sepulchre Sentinel, Terrell will no longer be in my team, and I'll have an opportunity to add one more damage dealer. So right now on the account, the most sought after champion is going to be Sepulchre Sentinel, because she does have increased defense also, which is another buff that I'm missing out on this team. So you need a lot of buffs and debuffs to take down this boss. So if you're missing out on one, your run might not be as secure or as high damage as you want it to be, until the day you finally get that missing piece, and then you can begin to do as much damage as you really want to do. So for now, my weakness in this team is there is no increased defense. I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there. So this is the champion that is making it all possible for my team. I wanted to use what's her name, Sifi, because she does also bring where is it, this skill right here, block debuff buff on a 4-turn cooldown, right, and increase defense. But a lot of players did express their opinion that, or a few players did say that I shouldn't be using Sifi in this type of team because it will not be relatable to you guys watching it. So those newer players watching it might not have a CP she's hard to obtain, so it's better I use a normal champion that is easily obtainable or replaceable, like Skatix Yosemi, like Sepulchre Sentinel, as the main champion. So with this champion in your team, you can now build around this champion. This is the main champion, because if you don't have a champion that can block the stun right there that the boss is putting on you, this battle will not be successful. So once you have a champion like this, you can begin to think about your Ultra Nightmare Killable team. Another important piece that kind of doubles your damage once you obtain this champion is a counter attack champion. Say ally protection, yes, reduces your damage and counter attack. So Skull Crusher is essential, second in command right there to this battle, and it keeps us alive as long as he can, until he can no longer take all the hits that are coming in. So and Skull Crusher right there, MVP in this battle, and I hope to soon get some blessings for all these champions so I can maybe begin to do a little bit more damage. Currently they are not having any blessings on them, which is kind of weird. So Skull Crusher is really important to increase the amount of damage, doubles the amount of turns your champions are taking, because when it puts that ally protection on them and that counter attack, they take turns when it's not their turn because the boss hits them, right? So important piece right there that you might want to consider having. If you do not have Skull Crusher at this time, maybe you want bigger shields, you know, champions that have passive that decrease the boss's hits and all that kind of stuff. So that's my two important champions that is going to be making this run possible. So with those two in mind, the others are replaceable. All the others are just totally replaceable. I'm talking about decrease defense and weaken, and decrease attack. So those are the three debuffs that you might need: decrease defense, weaken, and decrease attack. If you do not bring decrease attack to this battle, you will not last long. So if you head over to Deadwood Jedi's website, you see this single 4-3 block debuff tune, and if you read all the descriptions, but the main thing you want to look at is the speed that you need for these champions, right? There is a range that you can mess with and all that in the Deadwood Jedi's Arena calculator, but if you just want to copy what has already been done, you can watch this video all the way to the end, and I'll show you my exact speed that I made to put this tune in order. Why am I saying this? Because if you put 240 in your 4-3 champion, you have to tune others in line with that. You can't just decide to put this person at 240, decide to put this person at 191, decide to put this person at 185, 127. I know they say there's a range, but you have to use the range in line with everybody else. That's why I say it's better to just check out what has already been done and use it. So the range right here, if you're using 239, start with 239, start with 191, start with 127, 127 again, or 177. I used 177 and 177 to 177. I'll show you my stat like I said. So that's an opportunity for you to bring 3 DPS like I said to this battle with your counter attack and your block debuff buff champion. There are some things to note. I'll show you the starting lineup when we fight the battle, that you shouldn't just start this battle on auto and click go. No, you should at least do some setups, because you need to skip out on some turns and all that before you hit go at the 3rd turn or the 4th turn. So that's something to note. Don't just go click auto and say, oh, the run is not working. No, you always have to take into consideration that some skills have to be skipped. So what am I talking about? Which skills has to be skipped? Head over to whether you're building for Nightmare or Ultra Nightmare, click the correct link right there, and you see the one that Deadwood Jedi has built. And this is my build, this is my speed, so you can check it out right here in the calculator. Why did I have to bring it right here? Because I didn't want to be doing trial and error in the clan boss. Oh, the run failed, close. Oh, the run failed, close. No, I wanted to come here and see it working perfectly and compare it with what Deadwood Jedi has done, and it worked perfectly before I built it on my champions. So that's where it's supposed to go. And I had to, what's the first thing you should know right there, that I had to hold on to the A3 of Skatix for 1 turn. So Skatix started the battle with the A1, just like Sepulchre Sentinel will start the battle with the A1. You don't want to start the block debuff buff right here. So why am I holding it down right here? Because I want it to be used when the boss is about to, you know, do stuff to us right here. Skatix used it on the A3 right here. So Sketix will use it again when the boss is about to, so it will be available on turn 2 and turn 3. You know, turn 2 of the boss is when it hits hard, turn 3 of the boss is when it puts that stun on somebody. So with this block debuff buff available on turn 3, nobody will be stunned. It will always be available to be used. Although on the first turn though, it's kind of dicey because Skull Crusher is left without it on the first turn, at least right here, I think. Yeah, but after then it syncs up just fine. So that's the first champion, Sketix. Skull Crusher is starting up the battle with his counter attack, because he starts it with the first turn and then later he syncs up and he uses it in the first turn. So the allies can be hit on the first turn and counter attack, be hit in the second turn and counter attack, but he's unprotected on the second turn. That means he loses this unkillable buff he has on himself on the second turn, which makes him take a lot of hits. That's where increased defense would have helped him to stay alive a little bit longer, but this is where he would die if you have no increased defense at the later stages. So that's Skull Crusher, the two most important champions, and how I set them up to go. Now for champions like Frozen Banshee, you know, she needs her what do you call it now, poison sensitivity to be out there before she can place poison. So you don't want to go out on the A1 on this you know, she's not starting from this first turn, she's starting on the second turn. So you don't want to use the poison sensitivity on the second turn. You want to wait until she has an opportunity to use her A1. I mean, she has an opportunity to do her turn on first turn again, that is on turn 3. That's when she now use the poison sensitivity A3 right there. So that's something to note. Don't just let them use any skill they want. You have to hold on to her poison sensitivity until it's the first turn of the boss. When the boss, everything is just turn 1, then she places it, counter attacks, she adds more poison. On turn 2, she adds more poison. So you don't want her trying to add it when it's time for stun. This is not the time to use it. It's just these 2 turns. Alright, that's for Frozen Banshee or any other person. If there are some other damage dealers you have right there like Ronda, all this is not necessary. They don't need setup, just go, right? Terrell doesn't need much setup, but I wanted Terrell to use his decrease attack on the right time, because I don't want him to use the decrease attack on when the boss is about to place a stun, and then when it's on the A1 and A2 he's going in there to use his A2, right? So I didn't want him to use it at the wrong time, so I want it to be always available in these 2 turns. So I had to delay his A2 a little bit by 1 turn. So I delayed his A2 by 1 turn. That means he's gonna be starting the battle right here, Terrell, with the A3. Then he starts right here with the A1. This is the biggest hit right here. When the boss is about to do this second hit, that's the biggest hit. So I want to make sure there is A1 available right there, that Terrell has dropped decrease attack. That's why I set him to use it there. Sometimes it lasts for 3 turns and it might be available on this first turn. Even if you don't have decrease attack on your on the boss, it doesn't really hit that hard on this first turn of the boss, on the AoE 1 I mean. So but the AoE 2 is really important, you have it available. Alright, that's for Terrell. Which other champion? Rhazin. Now I choose to use Rhazin as my decrease defense and weaken champion. I also have this other champion built out. A lot of people are recommending I use him, but the reason why I use Rhazin as my decrease defense and weaken champion was because of, on other affinities, the boss will place that increased attack, right, which hits so hard. So I wanted Rhazin to be there to remove that increased attack that boss will be placing on himself. So I might be able to switch him out with Enax on some bad affinity when he can not do the job that much, but that increased attack hits so hard. That's why I needed him right there. So you always have the option of using Ronda to block the boss increased attack, or Sketix does has the opportunity to remove it, but I don't want to rely on that. You require some tuning to make that happen, because you know Sketix is doing some other jobs. All right, that's Enax right there, which could also do that decrease attack and weaken job that Rhazin is currently bringing to this team. And who else do we have on the team? That's it. That's the team. That's their Rhazin is set not to use his decrease attack, I mean decrease defense and weaken on the first time he gets a turn, which is this AoE 2. I also delayed him not to use it on this stun time, AoE 3. Then I let him use it on the AoE 1 again. So this time around, I wanted him to always start it on AoE 1. That's why I held on to him on this one, and let him use it this time. So that's the setup, the only setup that you need on Rhazin to make sure he always repeats this skill, because you want that decrease defense and weaken to be out there before your allies take a turn, right? And you also want Rhazin to be one of the first in the team to do it, right? So he's at the top right there to place it before others take a turn. Another thing why this is good is that he now has the opportunity to use his A1 right here to remove the increased attack or whatever the boss has placed on himself. So he's free to use it now instead of using the A2 in this point. All right, that's this tune. Remember, you can also do this on mobile. Impute your champion speed, impute their sets and all that, so you can see the true speed and make sure nothing is going out of tune. All right, I've talked about the strategy for the team as shown from Deadwood Jedi's website, and basically a 4:3 tune ratio like we've been seeing for a very long time. So it's time for us to show the real battle right now to see how much damage this team can bring. And like I said, this is the first draft, so don't expect too much from a team that just slapped gear on themselves. And we were more focused on speed tuning, right? We are focused on getting the speed tune right. We are not really focused on damage right now. So what am I trying to say? We don't have a lot of crit damage, gauntlet on champions or amulet on champions right now. All that will come with time when this works out just fine. So I'll hit battle. I didn't have any setup right here, but I put the team at the top right here, so there they are. When things get better, when I have other options, I might replace Frozen Banshee for a better DPS. When I get Sepulchre, I might last longer. There are many things that can change about this team, but I'll not start it on auto. Don't start it on auto because you will fail. They will use their turns in the wrong time. So the first thing, like I said, from the turn order right here, Scatix is not using right here. She's starting with her A1, and Skull Crusher is going in with his A2. So Scatix is going with the A1. Nothing big to see right there. And then Skull Crusher is going with counter attack. So he's on the right track. Everybody else will now have to follow up on what do you call it, in the fourth turn. So I'll be using everybody's A1 right now. Rhazin's A1. This is the second AoE that is about to drop. I already have decreased attack right there, so maybe I'll just add decreased defense. Nah, he will use it in the wrong time. I want him to always use decreased attack at this time. So I'm not using the poison sensitivity right now. I'm waiting for the fourth turn. And now I can place the, where is it, from Scatix. I can now place the A3, yes, from that, before the boss does his big stuff. A3 right here. So if you add slow speed on your allies, maybe Scatix can also cleanse it, but by then some speed might have been affected on those champions. This tune will also work for Nightmare. This setup might be a little bit different, or you might have to hold on to your skills a little bit longer or see what's going on, or you might not even need to hold on to your skills at all. But check out Nightmare when we also post that. I will not be posting Nightmare today because that run will be too long. I just wanted to show Ultra Nightmare because that's what we are, super focused on. I can use this right now, no problem. Not poison sensitivity right now, still A1. Still A1. On the fourth turn, I can click auto, see? Blocked. I was not stunned. And I can use whatever I want. Scatix will not use that A2. That's what I noticed. If you are wondering whether Scatix will use it. Now Rhazin can go with this decreased defense and weaken. Boom. Placed for 2 turns. Decrease attack. Now poison sensitivity from Frozen Banshee. I'm just using Frozen Banshee as a default nuker or damage dealer. You can use any damage dealer in that spot, especially one that hits harder than Frozen Banshee. Scatix always doing his A1. Alright, that's the fourth turn. Now I can click auto and go to sleep and watch this run become successful all the way to the end. So they'll hit the boss and do all their stuff. Everything is in sync right now. Skull Crusher will always place that decrease, that ally protection at the right time. Scatix will always block this big hit a little bit from that shield. That shield helps a little bit, not that much. And now the stun is still about to be blocked because everybody is still protected with block debuff buff. That's the most important buff in this team, because if they get stunned, everything just gets out of tune. How is Frozen Banshee not able to fill up this poison bar when she has counter attack on the team? It's kind of strange. I thought with counter attack she would just fill up the poison bar. Now if this was Occult Brawler, damn, poison bar will be overflowing now. There might not even be space to add decrease defense and weaken. So that might be a choice that we might explore in the future. I do have options. Gnishak is there, Ronda is there to replace Frozen Banshee, but that's something we have to explore in the future. So let me know which other damage dealer you think will be perfect in that spot than Frozen Banshee. This is Void affinity, so of course you make changes according to the affinity that you are fighting. Right now we are fighting Void, so we are not even focused on who to change and who not to change. That's the bad part about building teams like this. When affinity changes, you begin to switch out things. It makes you build more than one team. Basically one team is a team of 5, but you build subs, you keep people on the bench. So when affinity changes, so you have your poisoner for spirits like Occult Brawler, then maybe you have somebody else like Enax replacing Rhazin when it's spirit affinity, so it's all changes. And whenever that affinity changes to spirit, that's gonna be the worst one for this team, because that's the one that has that slow speed, right? It's gonna be the worst one for us to battle, because that day will definitely not be hitting our highest mark in Ultra Nightmare damage. So I think 15 million, maybe 20 million to get Ultra Nightmare maximum chest. For 3 key you need what, 25. Well, that's more than 70k, but basically 23k per key. That's what you're looking for. If you can get 23 million, okay, 23 million per key, you'll be on very safe side of getting to the maximum chest in Ultra Nightmare. So if I hit 20 million, I'll be surprised, because remember, like I said, this team has not yet been optimized to be their best damage. So some other tips that I might be giving you right now why this battle is going on, because I know it's going to be a short battle. That's why I'm not ending it and fast forwarding and showing you all the end. I want to see it all the way to the end. So another tip that I'll give you for your Skull Crusher build: do not add crit damage. That's something a lot of people might not know, that if you put Skull Crusher with a lot of crit damage, he will take more damage from ally protection. You see the amount of damage he's taking from the protection is given to the allies. If there is more crit damage, he will take more damage. That's something they just coded into the game. That's kind of weird. The ally protectors take more damage according to how much crit damage they have going on for them. So I can't wait for the day we'll have Sepulchre Sentinel to add increased defense to this team. Scatix is not the tankiest champion, so the first time I was doing a test, I think Scatix did go down before Skull Crusher. I was surprised, but mostly because he got targeted with that stun, and that stun hits hard, so his HP did go low. Skull Crusher can bring himself back to full HP when he goes low, easy, right? But Scatix kind of finds it hard to do if he gets hit extremely hard, because sometimes he's not actually taking a turn and hitting the boss, right? He's busy doing that cleanse and adding that buff on your allies. So that's something to note right there, that if Scatix begins to go down, you might want to take over and hit that A1 for him to get some HP taking healing. I don't know how much Leech would have been better for this, or Deliana would do better for some affinities, but I don't think it's needed, because Deliana is force and Rhazin is force, so I don't think there's any reason to bring in somebody else who can take care of that increased attack from the boss. We're getting to halfway mark right there. You can see Skull Crusher's HP is beginning to go a little bit on the halfway mark when the boss hits that big hit that we are scared of. I might need to fast forward this one to the end and see how much damage we do. I just want to show you the total stats of this champion and then we'll call it a day. I don't have RSL helper open right now, else I would have been showing you the stats. But yeah, I think I'll show you the stats from the champion skill setup area instead of the individual one. Damn, that's a lot of hits. Check out Skull Crusher's HP right there. Let's see if he's gonna hit and take himself to full HP. One hit, almost full. He still has another turn to take before the boss goes, so that's no problem. He will be full HP before. He does have that mastery that allows him to counter attack when he loses 25% or more of his HP. So that's why he's taking 2 turns before the boss can take a turn. So we are safe right there. What happened? Well, he was not protected in that second AoE. That's what happened. So we did have decreased attack out there, right? I think so. We did. That was a lot of hits, and Skatis kept himself alive with his passive. Else Skatis would have also been dead. So I was hoping for 15 million, and can the rest of these champions get me to 15 million? I don't think so, because Skull Crusher is the MVP, and once it dies, the battle just goes wrong from there. Maybe we can do it. My Rhazin also doesn't have a lot of crit damage. That's also another thing to note. That's why he's not doing a lot more damage. And that's the run. Closer to that 15 million mark. Close to it. So, but at least you see that Ultra Nightmare clan boss team for the noob to pro is done. The only thing now we have to improve is the gear in terms of the stats for crit damage and more defense to survive longer. And maybe when we get Sepulchre, the team will be possible. So I think we've achieved our goal. I know it's a very low amount of damage right there, but our clan is not yet taking down Ultra Nightmare, so I do have time to improve this. I just wanted to bring this as a surprise to you guys because we've been talking about it for a while, so I wanted to show you that it's possible. How many turns did we take? I didn't even take note of that, but we didn't take too much turn because there was no increased defense. If we could get past this stage, we would have doubled our damage. All right, let me head over to the stats and show you how I build these champions. All right, let's sort this by recently used and show you their stats. Lifesteal on everybody. Total stats on this champion, Terrell. He's only in this thing for decreased attack. That's it right there. You need at least 3,500 defense if you don't have increased defense. But if you do have increased defense on your team, you can do away with 2,600 defense. So that's why I was aiming for about 3,500 because I knew I did not have increased defense on my team. So that's the range you see on almost every champions, a little bit above 3,000. So for accuracy, of course, for Ultra Nightmare, 220, 250, find your sweet spot around there. Use your glyph to push yourself to the maximum. Crit rate a little bit on Terrell, some crit damage on him because he only needed defense and small HP. That's why I had the opportunity to add a little bit of this. That's his speed according to the Deadwood Jedi's speed tune right there. The MVP right there, Sketics, also in lifesteal, so he can heal himself back to full HP. His total stats is looking like this, 239. That's his role right there in the team. I'll show you 239 of the 4:3 ratio champion. That's why he's at that speed tune, and he's sitting at 61k HP because of his skill that has shield based on his HP, right? Or is it? Yeah, I think he has some shield that he places based on his HP. That's why I put this amount of HP on him. Nobody else has this high amount of HP. So 2.7, not there close to 3,000 mark right there. No crit rate, no crit damage because he's not there for that purpose. A little bit of accuracy so he could maybe remove or steal those buff in other content outside the clan boss. It can also be used in Doom Tower and other content, not just here. So Skull Crusher does not need accuracy, which is a good thing. You just need high defense on this champion as much as you can. And yeah, 4,800. I was going to for 4,000. I mean 3,800. I was going to close to 4,000 right there. 45k HP, not that much. 191 according to the Deadwood counter attack DPS right there. 191 speed, like it says right there. All right, for his accuracy, like I said, not needed. Crit damage not needed. Crit rate, yes, do give him crit rate if you can, squeeze it in, but crit damage, no, absolutely not. So I realized I was not showing you the masteries for this champion, but just take a look. They're all fully booked champions. The next champion, Frozen Banshee, nothing special about her, still in her counter attack, mastery, and lifesteal and speed set. A little bit of accuracy on that banner right there, which means she could rock a defense chest, which put her defense to about 3,900. Imagine a Frozen Banshee whose defense is not that high in terms of her base stats. 1,000 base stat defense. I put a lot of defense on her because I didn't want her to be the first one going down, because her damage is based on attack, right? But I wanted her to survive to do her poisons. That's why she's in the team. But I will definitely be replacing her, because with a champion that I'll build crit rate and crit damage on, like Ronda or Gnishak or somebody else, right? Gnishak will be crazy right there. So we'll talk about that later. So of course, accuracy 220 to 250. Find your sweet spot around there. 36k HP on this champion. That's Frozen Banshee, fully booked, used for a long time for clan boss. Before now, she's beginning to find a specific tune to work on. Rhazin masteries, the same thing, counter attack masteries, and fully booked also. You need Rhazin fully booked for this purpose, for the speed tune. His total stats is looking high defense, closer to that 4k defense also, and yeah, 35k, the same 250k. Now Rhazin does need decrease. Why do I keep forgetting it? Crit rate and crit damage. Rhazin does need it because he hits hard. So if you can put in that 3-5 defense that you need and then squeezing the rest at crit damage and crit rate, you do a lot of damage on this champion because of how much A1s he's taking. Remember, he's hitting with the Giant Slayer, not War Master, so that's even adding more damage to this champion. So a good damage dealer. I currently do not have a crit damage set on him. In this glove, like I said, on any of these champions they don't have it. That's something I'll be improving soon, that's so that the damage on this champion will also improve and the team will be better. All right, that's this team that made Ultra Nightmare possible, the speed tune team, the first draft, like I said, and we'll be improving it with time, especially when we get those key champions we are looking for that will remove Terrell from our teams. So let me know in the comments what you think about this first draft of the Noob to Pro, taking a shot at this Ultra Nightmare team. It's also going to be possible for Nightmare. Maybe this team can one key Nightmare because it's kind of easy for us to key it. Maybe now they can actually do it on one key. I'll check out the speed tune or the setup that is needed for that to happen. Let me know in the comments below if you find any of these champions that can replace these ones I'm using right now on my team. I'm always looking forward to your feedback and suggestions. Hopefully these newer players who are coming into Raid will find this video very useful. If you don't have the champions to build an unkillable team, Demeter, Manita, Painkeeper, and all those good champions that make it easier for you to be the clan boss. You're stuck building killable teams like this, and it's still possible in 2023 to make it happen and get your sacred shard, or start getting your sacred shard from your clan boss. Now my team or my clan is not yet taking down Ultra Nightmare, so it's not something I'll be spending a lot of time on. I'll still be spending my keys on Nightmare, and then if I have any extra keys, I'll throw it into Ultra Nightmare. That's the way it goes. You have to wait until your clan starts taking down Ultra Nightmare before you start spending all your keys into it. Maybe you don't have any other keys to spend anywhere else. So that's the best way to approach this. And yeah, that's this video. That's one I wanted to share with you guys. Hope you like the surprise right after the Aurelia fusion. Now, before you do close out this video and skedaddle, I wanted to give you something special. I guess it's time for us to do our monthly raid gem giveaway. Yes, 5 winners in the comment box below are gonna be winning 540 gems for 5 winners and 1 ancient shard for 5 winners. That's the first one. We do it every month. So if you usually don't watch these videos all the way to the end, you might not know what's happening, that these gem giveaways are happening. I don't put it in the title, I don't put it in the description or in the thumbnail. I just sneak it into the video, so the real MVPs are the ones that will comment below and get it. All you have to do, comment your favorite part of this video, I guess, or just leave any comments and add hashtag noob2pro. Leave any comments below and include hashtag noob2pro, your favorite raid champion, what champion you think will be better for this clan boss. Any comment you can add, just do it hashtag noob2pro, because I'll use that hashtag noob2pro in this comment section to sort out the winners. I'll do it in a video in 24th. So this is ending on the 24th. Remember, today is currently 22nd, so you only have 2 days to drop your comments. If you're watching this video after 24th of February, I'm sorry, the giveaway has ended, so take note of that. That's not all. I'll also be giving 3 winners 300 gems. Well, remember, I'm not the one giving it out. It's Plarium Raid are giving we content creators an opportunity to share all this with our community members. So every month they do these things. But this 300 gems for 3 winners is coming from the arena, or the, what do you call it now? The Fire Night tournament, the Ronda's Fire Night tournament, that where we have to use Ronda for a team. I did say I wasn't trying to win that tournament because we had other players or content creators who were going hard for it, but I did say I was going for that participation reward, right? Just to participate. And of course, 3 players from my community are going to be getting 300 gems each for just me participating in it with my 5 minutes to 6 minutes Fire Night run. So whoever commented that I shouldn't have even bothered posted a video if I wasn't going to be building a fast speed 2 minutes Fire Night thing, well, that's almost 900 gems going to the community. So I guess I did something right there. All right, this video has gone long enough. This has been the longest video I've ever posted. Damn, I just wanted to make sure I had an opportunity to explain this clan boss team in great detail, show the entire run from beginning to end without cutting out anything. If it fails, it fails. Show you the live what do you call it, the first amount of damage we do, so you can see in real time how the damage will improve with time. Give it a month or 2, you see us doing up to 20 million or more damage in that same clan boss. So that's the first draft right there. Don't be too worried when you see damage like this from your team. It will improve with gear the more time you spend in the dungeon, of course. I'm looking forward to your feedback. Remember, hashtag noob2pro if you're interested in winning that gems. Remember to add your UM code. I always forget to say this, but yes, don't just drop hashtag noob2pro. Always include your UM code so I don't have to chase you down if you are amongst the lucky winners. All right, guys, help me hit like in this video. This has been one interesting one, I guess. The noob2pro is back, and yeah, I'll be posting updates daily from it or from my main account also. And if subscribe to the YouTube channel if you've not done so already. These giveaways are only for subscribers, so if you're not subscribed, your comments will not be chosen as one of the winners. All right, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Good night.